Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Let's Play Motorsport Manager with the Phoenix Knights Racing team. And here we are, about to embark upon a journey here in Dubai for the final race of the season. We have fast forwarded to the race weekend. There's no flim-flam, there's no messing around, there was nothing to do pre-season of major import. Well, nothing as important as finding out who is going to be declared champion of the European Racing Series for this year. Valdez fighting back, Sunding trying to fend him off. There's only 5 points between them. It's all down to this finale. Now I will very briefly go through what I did off camera in the pre-season leading up to this session. I decided that we had a couple of new sponsors, so with the bonus that we're going to get for winning the constructors, we're going to get about 13 million. That's 1313. I decided to build another building, and we are looking at building the staff centre so we can improve our staff stats and also the fitness of our drivers. So that should be ready for the new season. We have developed the performance of the car, so all of the parts are now maxed out in their performance figures, which has put our car higher in the rankings. We have the third best engine. Remember at the start of the season we had like the 7th best, 8th best gearbox? Now we have the 2nd best. We still have the crappy brakes. We can go fast, but we can't stop. And the 2nd best suspension, meaning that overall we've got the 6th best car on paper, but it's going to be very, very tight because we have some decent parts here. We have some decent parts, more importantly, some damn good drivers. So that was pretty much it for the pre-season, for the pre-race stuff. But I just wanted to get straight into the race, and so we shall. And you know what? I was going to go for the actual first place bonus, but I'll still remain reserved and go for 3rd or above. It's Abu Dhabi, it's Dubai actually, strictly speaking. I mean, look at the state of the track. It looks quite twisty and turny. The weather forecast, it doesn't rain here very often, I don't think, so it's probably going to be a dry race, which means it's going to be a race to the finish. No strange strategies, no spanners in the works. Just pedal to the metal, may the best person win. See you in qualifying. Right, so here are the practice times. They don't really mean anything. Both drivers focused on getting a decent setup. It took Sundin a little bit longer than Valdez to get the setup right today. Perhaps she's feeling the pressure a little bit. I think she got there in the end though. I'll just have to double check. Made a last minute tweak to her setup and didn't get the feedback for it, so we're just going to have to make sure that the setup was right. I think it should be. So super soft, extra performance for both cars. And we'll just check. Yes, it did end up right in the end. Lovely. So Sundin's setup is at 95%. She's going to be doing qualifying on the super soft tyres, of course. And Valdez, 96% with his setup. Of course, he will be using also the super soft tyres. 3rd or above. Is it possible? Of course it is. So here we are, this is my first time in Dubai, never raced here ever in this game, so this is a new experience for me. Weather is going to be clear, so we're anticipating doing our usual strategy of going out as late as possible. Now this track is a long lap, it's about 1 minute 52 for a flying lap, so we're going to have to go out with at least 2.5 minutes left to give us plenty of time to get out the pits, do our warm-up lap, and then go on to the flying lap. It's also a big, well obviously 1 minute 52, it's a big track, so finding empty space, finding a gap should be easier. But if there was ever a qualifying session that was absolutely pivotal to either driver. This is it. One false move here, one boob could spell curtains for the championship. Absolute curtains. We're expecting a completely dry race, so the Ruiz Motorsport guys are going to be up there. Sabado is going to be up there. The usual contenders will be up there, no doubt throwing a spanner in the works at some point, because we're going to have to beat them. Not only do we have to worry about each other, we have to worry about actually beating the other cars. Look at that, Antonov a full second faster than Mello and Sabado, who we know is pretty quick. That's quite a frightening time. Right, Sundin can't take it anymore. She's going out now. She's waited long enough. She is off. Almost without waiting for instruction, she's out of there. She can't hold it anymore. And Valdez, seeing her go out, thinks, do you know what? I better follow suit. Just need to tweak that. There we go. Right, he's off as well. He should have enough time to get around. Right, everybody's on their in-laps and we should get clear track here. I mean, Sundin looks as if she's caught up behind somebody, but they should be going in the pits when she's on her flying lap, so shouldn't interfere. We followed Valdez for his qualifying time for the past couple of races. We will follow Sundin today. Let's see what she can do. We don't expect to out-qualify the Ruiz Motorsport, who will probably lock out the front row for like the 5th time this season, but we're hoping to get 3rd and 4th. There she goes, here she goes, here she goes, here she goes, here she goes. We're coming round, past a few cars. She's overheated the brakes quite considerably. This could spell curtains. Our brakes are bad enough as it is. Whereas, look at Valdez. He's got good brake temps and perfect tyre temps. He's had a much better warm-up lap. I'm sure Sundin is cracking under the pressure. Okay, here we go. So Sundin coming round the first sector here. She seems to be going rather slowly, but it could just be the perspective of the view. She's 2 tenths down in the first sector. 2 tenths already. That is a considerable deficit. And Valdez is quicker. He said a purple sector in the first sector. Look at him fly. I've told you, he is absolutely pushing to the limit. And we've got a car in front of Sundin. Hopefully it will not interfere with her lap. As she comes now to the second sector, she's lost another 3 tenths. She's now almost 5 tenths down on the pole position time. Valdez here, how's he doing in the second sector? He is a smidgen, 2 thousandths of a second slower than pole position. He's absolutely trying his heart out. Sorry, Sundin, we're leaving you here because Valdez is on an absolute stormer. I don't think we've ever out-qualified Ruiz Motorsport when it's been a dry track and there's been no dramas. Oh, we've just missed out. His final sector was a little bit too slow. He's lost 3 tenths in the final sector, but more importantly, he has qualified in second position. He has the advantage. Antonov, first place for Ruiz Motorsport. Valdez having the qualifying of his life, out-qualifying a Ruiz Motorsport car in the dry conditions. He's out-qualified Mikhailovic to get on the front row, and we know how he starts. He gets off to flyers more often than not. So Sundin, she qualified 4th, respectable, but a second slower than Antonov, 7 tenths slower than Valdez. That's the important thing. Right then, so what permutations are there possible? He's 5 points behind her. If he was to finish second, he'd get 6 points. He'd have to rely on Sundin finishing outside of the points. So Sundin isn't completely out of this yet. She just has to finish in the points. But if Valdez wins, Sundin has to finish. Let me do my maths here. She has to finish second. She has to finish second if Valdez wins. This is going to be so tight. So tight. It's going to be unreal. Valdez is hoping that Ruiz Motorsport can push Sundin down the grid. He's hoping that Sabardo can give her a hard time. He needs the assistance. He needs the help. It's not completely in his hands. He needs to rely on Sundin finishing low enough to not gather enough points. Right, it's a 12-lap race. We need to stop roughly on lap 4. So I mean, Valdez is the one that is going to get. Can probably actually use a used set of tyres on the final stint. Valdez is the one that gets the choice, and he is choosing, not expecting any weather conditions to change here. He is going to lighter fuel it to come in first, to have the benefit of having those early laps. A lap less fuel. He is going to try and fly in the first sector and build up a bigger gap as possible. Driver strategies. The weather is hot here. Well, it's actually not too bad today. We will go push with overtake on the engine on the engine modes. Let's get into it. So here is the grid. It is Antonov on pole, it's Valdez second, it's Mikhailovic third, and Sundin is in fourth. So she's put herself right in there. She just has to keep Valdez in sight. That's all she has to do. She doesn't have to finish ahead of him. Just has to keep him in sight. Finish no more than a couple of places behind him, and she'll be okay. Vananen in Octane in fifth. That's a very good qualifying, especially with a damaged neck. Mello with Silver Racing is in sixth. Octane in seventh. They've really improved their car towards the back end of the season. Sabardo down in eighth. He slipped away towards the back end of qualifying. El Sadad in 9th and Cavalcanti in 10th. It seems the two cars that have maintained a decent pace throughout the season is, of course, Phoenix Knights and Ruiz Motorsport. It looks like Zampelli and Firebird have slipped away and been replaced by Octane, who have picked their game up a little bit too late. Okay, so here we go. The lights are on. It's here at Dubai. It's go for the final race of the season, and Valdez is at it again. He's at it again. The superstar starter is put his foot straight down, and he's passed Antonov already, and he's out of there. He ain't messing around. He's gone. He's done it again. Sundin, where's Sundin? Here she is. She's battling past Mikhailovic, and she's in third position. Don't forget, if she finishes third and Valdez wins, it's not enough. She'll lose the championship by 1 point. She needs to pass Antonov at some point if Valdez wins this race. And he is not sparing the horses. He is absolutely pushing so hard. Got off to a flying start, as is usually the case. I mean, look at him go. He's already built a gap of 2 seconds to Antonov, who is also pushing his driving style, but not quite the engine. Sundin got a bit of a train behind her. Bit of a train. As she crosses the line on the end of the first lap in third position. Right behind her, she's got Vananen. 5th place, Mikhailovic. 6th place, Sabardo's had a good start. She shouldn't be looking backwards though. She should be looking forwards. Look at that. Valdez. Purple sectors lighting up all over the place. Although this sector is a little bit off the pace here. We got a crash! We got a crash! It's Vananen! And here comes the safety car! Here comes the safety car! Oh, this is exactly the same situation that we faced. What was the race where we pitted under the safety car? This is exactly the same position. We go round this lap. Cross the line now, catch the safety car up, and then we come in on the next lap under the safety car, effectively get a free stop. It's exactly the same situation, but for poor Sundin, she's going to have to double stack. However, she doesn't have to win the race. This could be actually playing into Sundin's hand, because if we get a free pit stop and the other drivers don't take advantage, Sundin might be able to pass Antonov utilising this strategy, and therefore guaranteeing herself second place. This could actually screw Valdez over. This could actually screw Valdez over. Right, we're going to fast forward it a little bit. I'm just trying to think about this. Just trying to think about. It's definitely worth us coming in now and taking our pit stop with 5 laps of fuel, maximum capacity. We can do 2 5-lap stints, or a 5 and a 4. So it's perfectly reasonable to come under the safety car now. The safety car isn't coming in this lap, so there's one more lap of safety car. These guys probably won't pit now. They'll wait and pit in another couple of laps time, by which point we'll already have gone in, and they'll have to pit twice under normal racing conditions. Right, so yeah, this is definitely going to play into Sundin's favour. She's not going to have to pass Antonov on the track, it seems. Right, Valdez into the pits. He's going to go for a set of fresh super soft tyres. He's going to fuel to the max. He doesn't have to fuel to the max though. He can actually fuel 1 lap less and still... we'll come in at the end of lap 3, lap 4, 5 and 6. So it's going to be tight. It's going to be tight actually. I think we're going to have to go for full laps here, because we're going to be using overtake mode probably, and therefore could do with an extra lap of fuel. Okay. Which means, I don't know, because that means that one of these guys are going to have to light fuel. We can't come in on the same lap. Sundin cannot come in on the same lap, or else you're going to have to double stack. So, do we pit her? We do pit her, of course, but do we just give her 5 laps of fuel, but don't push her? She can manage the fuel in the race. She doesn't have to. As long as she finishes second, she doesn't have to go too mad. She doesn't have to go all out and burn her fuel to oblivion. So she's just going to manage this. She's just going to manage this in a usual calm fashion. She is just going to manage this situation. All she's focused on is getting second place right now. That's all she has to focus on. Let Valdez go screeching off into the distance if he wants. Risk spinning off even. She will just ensure that she does enough to pass Antonov. And get second. Now she's going to have to stack now, but it makes no difference. It makes no difference at all, because they're both going to come out at the back of the pack and be at pretty much at racing speed at the same time. Right, we're going to conserve fuel now while we can. Keep the tyre temps on normal. Tyre wear isn't a problem. So Sundin feeds into 19th. Valdez feeds into 14th. Both drivers are going to have to pass a few cars. There will be a little bit of slowdown whilst we're in traffic, but ultimately we're in very good positions here. Both drivers are in very good positions. Valdez cursing the safety car. He knows that without this safety car, Sundin may have struggled to pass Antonov. Now with a free pit stop, it might be a lot easier for her. Right. As we now fast forward once more, keep an eye on the old temperatures, keep an eye on the old fuel. So the safety car is coming into the pits, which means we are going to be back under racing conditions very, very shortly. And off we go! Racing conditions resumed, and Valdez already passing car, shouting, "Eat my dust," into the radio. He's loving it at the moment. He's absolutely loving it. He's on the charge. Right, we're going to go high. Going to go high. Push for the time being. Try and get past a couple of drivers if we can. Now this is a long track, so we don't want to be stuck too long behind cars if we can help it. Sundin has passed somebody. She's up into 17th place. Valdez trying to make his way past. He's actually not catching up to Liao at the moment. Kind of a bit bogged down. Antonov and Mikhailovich, the 1-2 at the moment. El Sadat has managed to force his way up to 3rd position, recovering from a bad qualifying, doing very well. Sabados as well. So all those drivers. Right, let's have a look. Antonov is now in the pits, as is... Valdez has already passed him. Sundin has already passed. They are long gone. Long gone, my friends. This is a 1-2, and, well, barring any catastrophes here, I can't see anybody catching them. Sundin just has to do enough to hang on to the coattails. In fact, she's going to turn things... She's going to... Wrong person. She's going to turn things down. She has to conserve her fuel. Another crash! This time it's just a yellow flag. It's not a safety car. Gomez has crashed out. So what are we on now? Lap 6. In fact, I think we've got enough fuel to make it with both drivers if we push them both. There's nothing that Valdez can do. He can go as fast as he likes. It makes no difference. It's all down to Sundin, and she's in 2nd place right now. Nobody near her. We've all got to do one more stop. So all he can hope for is that Sundin's pit crew have some kind of a meltdown. That's all he can hope for, in all seriousness. You've got a feel for him. You've got a feel for him. I mean, he's had an absolutely storming second half of the season. He had an absolutely ecstatic qualifying session here, out qualifying one of the Ruiz Motorsport cars with an absolutely blistering time. He got off to a flying start on the grid, going into 1st place instantaneously, and started to pull away. And then the safety car came out, and that has pretty much screwed him. Right, Sundin is going to have to pit now, otherwise she will be stacking behind Valdez, and as much as she can probably afford to, she doesn't quite want to. She's going to go onto the soft tyres. She's not going to risk going onto used super softs. She's just going to maintain position. She's just going to go nice and safe. The track grip is very high, so the soft tyres should still work pretty reasonably. She's fueled to the end. She just has to cruise round. I mean, she is getting caught slightly by Antonov, but nothing to be overly concerned with. Another crash! Nick Chu has crashed off now. As Valdez... I mean, he doesn't have to go onto the used super softs, so he too will play it safe. Takes one less of fuel. Doesn't need to push. So we'll take one lap less of fuel. And off he goes. Sundin's pit stop has gone good. Nothing out of the ordinary. Doesn't have to be out of the ordinary. Just has to be good. Just has to be normal. Even if you lose a second or two by making sure that you get it right, that's all it has to be. Now she is in a little bit of traffic here, and she will be for the foreseeable few laps, which may hamper her slightly. Thankfully, they all seem to be coming in this lap. She didn't have a massive amount of time to Antonov. And if he goes onto the super soft for his final stint, as Valdez is coming round now to his final stop. Just like Sundin, nothing spectacular required from the pit crew. Just make sure everything goes nice and smooth. So there we go, the fuel goes in. The tyres go on. And Valdez goes out. He's got excess fuel to play with. Sundin is in third position. She's behind Cavalcanti, who still has to pit. It's Antonov that we need to be worried about. And he is on the super soft tyre. He is slightly... what is he? 7 seconds behind Sundin. That is not quite as much room for error as we were hoping for with Sundin. She's now having to make sure here that she does not fall into his clutches. Just having to push the engine now, push the tyres, just to make sure she maintains that gap. He is flying. He is flying, and these are long laps. There is still 3 laps to go after this. And he is absolutely flying. Three laps, and her fuel is just bordering on being enough to make it to the end of the race. She's going to have to turn down to normal any second now. The gap is down. She's going to have to go medium. The gap is down 4.5 seconds. He is on the charge. He is pushing very hard on the tyres though, and it's quite a warm day. They're probably going to be prone to overheating. I mean, even Valdez, he's going to just go into high mode here, just to make sure that Antonov doesn't come crashing past him. This is critical. This is extremely critical for Sundin's championship. It all looked so calm and smooth. It all looked like it was in the bag. Should we have put the used super softs on her? If she's got a little, we'll do another lap of normal, and then we'll turn the engine up for the final lap as much as we can. Her tyre temperatures are now going up, but she can't do anything less than push. She just can't. 4 seconds is the gap. It's less than 4. It's 3.7. Right, while he's conserving tyres, we will go normal. He's conserving, we'll go normal, and we'll just go push for the final lap. Valdez cruising, he's 10 seconds ahead of Sundin. He's almost guaranteed race victory. It's all about Sundin. If she finishes third, title is gone. This is far closer than she would have liked. What's he doing? He's still conserving tyres. He's still conserving tyres and normal engine. He's conserving engine and conserving tyres. He's probably pushed so hard to try and catch her that he's got nothing left. Whereas she has saved up for the final lap. That could be her saving grace. Here we go. Final lap of the race. Oh, somebody's come right out into her path. Right out into her path. The blue flags are waving, but she needs to get past quickly. She needs to get past quickly. Get out of the flipping way. Get out of the way! The final lap of the championship, let alone the final lap of the season, final lap of the race, final lap of the season. And she is not a country mile ahead of Antonov here. She is clinging on for dear life. The gap is down to 2.6 seconds. Look at him, he's there. She can see him. She can see him in the mirrors. She's got excess fuel. Antonov is pushing the tyres now. He's really trying for this final fuel. He's got nothing to play for, really. He's got nothing to play for. Would he? How close are we? The last few corners. The last few corners. Sundin is coming round now. And she's just managed to cling on to the championship. She's just managed to cling on to the championship. She's won the championship by 1 point. Unless Valdez got the fastest lap. I completely and utterly forgot that Valdez needed the fastest lap. If he got a fastest lap, he would get a bonus 2 points. I should have pushed Valdez. He had the fuel to do it. I should have put him in overtake mode and pushed him hard on the tyres to try and get a fastest lap. I completely forgot. I mean, would he have got a fastest lap? Would he have... I mean, that Ruiz Motorsport guy was absolutely flying. I don't think he would have got a faster lap than him, but we could have at least given him the chance. Oh, I feel so bad. I completely forgot about that. So Valdez, he won the race. He won the race. The safety car screwed him. Without that, Sundin may not have passed Antonov. In fact, he may not even finish first, to be fair. Did he get fastest lap? I can't see it. I personally can't see it. It must have been Antonov. He was coming like a train. He was absolutely flying round the back of Sundin. Oh my God! He got the fastest lap! I don't believe it! I do not believe it! He's champion! He's champion! He's done it! He's got the fastest lap! He's won the race! He's won the championship by a point! Look at that! He's done it! I do not believe what I am seeing here! Sergio Valdez, at some point in this season, I think was 29 points behind Sundin, who was cruising the first half of the championship. And all of a sudden, he got that racer trait that gave him +2 to all stats in the race. The cars began to even each other out because he had the worst car to start with, but his car got better as we increased the performance parts, and they've got equal cars now, and he's just had a storming second half of the season, and he has done it on the last lap. Not only has he done it on the last lap, he's done it due to the fastest lap on the last race. I do not believe it. Sergio Valdez is the champion for the second season running, beating, some people may say, his more established, more experienced and calmer, better driver. Somehow he's done it. Do not believe it. The mind games that he's played with his own team, asking for parts, declaring a rivalry with Sundin, getting under her skin. He's just played it to perfection. I mean, we were already promoted. This is not a shock. What is a shock is Valdez has done it. Holy cow. To be fair, he deserves it. After that performance, the qualifying, flying off the line, putting in a fastest lap, despite the fact that Ruiz Motorsport on dry tyres with no interruptions were absolutely flying there, and they couldn't beat his lap time. He's got to deserve it. He's got to do. Unless a woman would have probably given up the ghost being close to 30 points down in the championship. But he's absolutely pulled it out of the bag. Sundin is probably in a state of shock. How has she thrown it away? I literally, it's now 7 o'clock, it's Tuesday, I'm recording this. You're going to see this on Friday because I'm scheduling it to upload whilst my computer is in for upgrades. So I'm now having to rush off to stream The Walking Dead. But I do not believe I just do not believe it. extra bonus points for the fastest lap have helped Valdez to this championship. 2 races ago, when Sundin had the boob in Italy, he got the fastest lap there as well. So that's 4 points he's gained over the past 3 races in bonus points. Unbelievable. What a look at that! Drivers' champion, world champion of the European Racing Series for the 2nd season running. It's the cocky, arrogant, but everybody loves to hate him. He is the marketing superstar of the Phoenix Nights Racing team. It's Sergio Valdez. 5 race wins, 8 podiums. He was always on the edge. He spun off in Munich. He was always on the edge, always pushing hard. Whereas Sundin, was she being a bit too in a shell in the second half of the season? Was she driving too defensively? Questions that she's going to have to answer. Maybe not necessarily to anybody out loud, but in her own mind. How is she going to recover from this? I do not know. Have we driven her to retirement? She's 31. Is she going to call it a day after that calamity? We'll have to find out next time. Join me for the next session. We will do the pre-season and prepare ourselves for promotion. And hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll be on my new computer. Hope you've enjoyed this season. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you're a Valdez fan and you're happy. Let me know if you're a Sundin fan and you're absolutely distraught. Just give me some feedback. I've really enjoyed this. See you next time.